The left in this country is fixated on getting rid of student loans. It's racist now, according to at least one member of Congress. It's you're not anti-racist unless you're anti-student loan. We got to bail them out. The Biden administration wants to do massive debt forgiveness. Never mind people like me who've actually busted my butt to pay back my loans. Most of them are repaid. I've got one left. I'll get nothing for the money I paid for. You had Elizabeth Warren, remember, during the campaign, was confronted by a man whose child and himself had done everything right, had worked, gotten a good job, paid off their loans. Why was their tax dollars now going to go to bail out someone who couldn't do the right thing and couldn't get a job? And you know what no one wants to talk about? Nobody wants to have this discussion. College tuition costs. Maybe it's the college tuition costs that are the real racism. I mean, young black people now from low incomes getting into colleges and colleges bleeding them for all they're worth. Maybe they should talk about that racism. You've got Harvard has a multi-billion-dollar endowment. David Hogg, the gun control activist from Florida, who, by the way, dude wanted to start his own My Pillow company and has bailed out. His grades are suffering. He's had to walk away after wanting a unionized American-made pillow company. Like, my bad, guys. I'm sorry. My grades are slipping. Whatever. Colleges. There's no accountability in the cost of college. There's no accountability right now for the massive spike in tuition. Tuition in college campuses around this country has gone up way more than inflation. And by the way, a lot of it it's not like they're paying their professors anymore. They're adding on all sorts of programs and building campaigns and the like. Some of them have massive endowments. At some point, there's got to be a massive collapse in the number of colleges in this country. There are, frankly, more colleges than there are demand for colleges. And those colleges jack up their costs and their tuition, knowing that you can go get, in many cases, a subsidized student loan covered by the federal government that you do not have to pay a penny on the entire time you're there, so you have no concept of the cost of it or what you're going to be making when you get out on the other side, and then you're stuck with this massive bill. And the college then comes to you and wants money from you to perpetuate their endowment or whatnot. Colleges and universities in this country need to have a reckoning. Instead of having to talk about student loans, we need to have to talk about college salaries. Look at Rick Perry. Rick Perry, the governor of Texas, former governor of Texas, campaigned on a $10,000 a year college degree. And the university system in Texas went bat poop crazy, refused as best they could, and ultimately I think he was able to see it through and people could get a degree. And for a while there, you even had them fighting and say, well, we're just going to give you an associate degree. We're not going to give you a real degree. Real degree costs you money. But people were able to finally get a real bachelor's of art from colleges in Texas for $10,000. There's no reason that a basic college degree, college education, teaching you to think more critically, read deeper into books, and learn should cost you $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 like it does at many private many private schools, and a lot of now institutions of higher learning that are public are outrageous as well. If we're not going to have a discussion about college tuition inflation, we're not having a real discussion, because the student loan market has caused college tuition to skyrocket. In fact, the solution is not to pay off or forgive or bail out student loans. The solution is to ban student loans. Get rid of the student loan program, and you will see a remarkable collapse in college tuition in this country. Get rid of the student loan industry itself, and colleges and universities will be forced to scale back to reality. Now, they will bellyache, they will moan, they will complain. Some of them will go out of business. Good riddance. The fewer academic incubators for ignorance, the better. But we don't want to have that conversation. The Biden administration doesn't want to have it. The left doesn't want to have it. Why? Because academics are their constituent base. Essentially, the student loan industry props up an entirely large and almost universally consolidated Democratic base of votes. You keep the student loan industry going, and then you bail out the students. Well, you keep the money flowing to the academic institutions that provide you a reliable pool of elite white voters for the Democratic Party. So they don't want to touch. They don't want to touch actually getting rid of student loans. They don't want to deal with college inflation. They don't want to deal with outrageous tuition. Instead, they'd have the American taxpayers bail out the people who got loans for degrees in puppetry arts and can't pay them back. Why not foster responsibility instead of fostering government bailout for people who can't pay back? Some of them are real sob stories. I get it. But you know what? There are risks in life. The government shouldn't bail you out from those risks.